Oh, this one's gonna be fun. As a fellow detective myself, I take great pleasure in talking about one of the world's greatest detectives of all time that will also beat the ever-living stuffing out of you. The absolute universe in Detective Comics has been an absolute treat.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
My name is Detective Hemmings, codename Paperwork. I am the literary detective. Welcome to Case 32. Is this the best version of Batman? A little bit of preamble before I hop into this, if you don't mind. I think my point of view, my perspective here is what's going to make this a little bit more interesting. So, I am actually not a Batman guy.
You need to leave!
My relationship with this character has gone up, down, and all around. While I have always enjoyed Batman's mythos, rogue gallery, inclusion in hella DC media, he was never one of my favorite characters. Heck, I often rooted against him. And as DC started to rely on Bats more and more due to his popularity, I started to even feel overexposed to the character. He was in every DC animated film, inserted into any and all team-ups, and he almost never loses, so it just got boring to me. But I want to make something clear. I like Bruce Wayne. He's cool. And I have always respected, okay, I admit it, I'm a Superman stan and I'm tired of the disrespect. I'm tired of it. I admit it. I'm coming clean. In all seriousness, with all that being said, this is a legendary character. While I am not a person who generally succumbs to recency bias, I am more of a primacy bias guy. So there's a part of me that wonders if I'm jumping the gun, but this is how I am thinking and feeling presently. I do not attest that this is the best version of Batman ever created, but that it is the most interesting, refreshing take on Mr. Wayne in a long time. And honestly, as of this video, my favorite version of The Dark Knight. Let's talk about it. Like the video, subscribe, or else Batman will break your kneecaps with a super dropkick.
Where's the trigger?
What makes Absolute Batman so exciting is that it doesn't just tweak Batman, it fundamentally breaks him down to see what still works when you strip away the money, losing both parents and having to witness that in real time, and even Alfred in a sense. He's got this working class underdog vibe. Unlike the mainline Batman, who uses $1 billion a R&D department, this Bruce Wayne is a city engineer. He's got ingenuity over wealth. Instead of a custom-built Batmobile, he drives a modified mining rig. Batcave isn't a high-tech fortress with all of this wealthy technology. It's a disused tower he's squatting in. As a matter of fact, he has several of them. The stakes are higher. Because he lacks a safety net and a butler to stitch him up, every fight actually feels desperate. He wins through grit and city knowledge rather than having superior technology in a sense. Radical design and weaponry. So Scott Snyder and Nick Dragotta went full metal with the aesthetic. The chest symbol, which is the most iconic change, is that his massive bat symbol is actually a detachable battle axe. It's brutal, practical, and symbolizes his heavy metal approach to crime fighting. This dude's physique, standing at 6'9" and over 400 pounds of pure muscle. He is literally an absolute unit. This isn't a ninja. This is a tank that moves with agility and stealth. Wonder Woman was even like, we need to come up with another word for what you do because this is not moving quietly, especially for your size. Then you got the bat suit and the cape and cowl. His ears aren't just for show. They double as throwing knives. His cape is thick and weighted, used more like a heavy shroud or a blunt force weapon than a glider. Then you have the reimagined supporting cast. This is where the story gets really clever in my opinion. The Absolute Universe flips the script on traditional relationships. The villains are friends. In this world, Bruce's childhood friends includes people like Waylon Jones, Killer Croc, Harvey Dent, imagine I'm flipping a coin, Two-Face, and even Oswald Cobblepot, the Penguin. Seeing them interact as a group of blue-collared buddies before they potentially become monsters creates a tragic ticking clock tension. Martha Wayne is alive. One of the biggest emotional shifts is that Martha Wayne wasn't there at the zoo where Bruce's dad was shot. She's an active community leader, giving Bruce a living moral compass that he usually only has in memory. Then you have Alfred as an antagonist. Initially, Alfred Pennyworth is a lethal, I think it's called MI6 agent, sent to Gotham to stop the chaos Batman is causing. Their mentor-student, father-son dynamic is replaced with a tense professional rivalry that eventually evolves into mutual respect. And then you got the raw, kinetic art. Nick Dragata's style is a huge draw. It's gritty and stylized, moving away from the clean superhero look. The action sequences are chaotic, disorienting, and in a way makes you feel the impact of every punch. East to West is also one of my favorite comic books of all time by Rick Remender and Nick Dragata, so I feel very much at home here. The action is so incredible and the fights are visceral. I really, really like it. So let's revisit this question again. Is Absolute Batman one of the most refreshing takes on the character we've seen in a long time? In many ways, yes. It is arguably the most radical reboot of the Batman concept since maybe Dark Knight Returns or Year One. While DC is famous for Elseworld stories like Gotham by Gaslight or Red Sun, those are usually one-off what-if scenarios. Absolute Batman is different because it's the flagship of a whole new shared universe, meant to compete with the mainline version for years to come. And here are some reasons why it feels so uniquely refreshing. This one's very important to me. It kills off the Bat God trope. For the last 2 decades or so, Batman has slowly become the Bat God. A man who can beat Superman, has a plan for every possible universe, every scenario. His utility belt can break reality, and he sits on the throne of infinite money and wealth. It's refreshing because Absolute Batman is not particularly a well-known person in the societal sense, or at least Bruce Wayne. He's a guy living in the trailer park, working a day job and getting his hands dirty. This grounding makes him feel way more human and relatable again. It flips the status quo on its head. Usually when DC reboots Batman, they change his suit or his car, but I'd argue here they changed his DNA, his genetic makeup in a lot of ways. I'm being a little bit symbolic here, but you know what I mean. So wealth as a weapon. By making the villains the one with the money and resources, Snyder has turned Batman into a revolutionary figure rather than a protector of the wealthy status quo. Family dynamics have changed. Having a Martha Wayne and an antagonistic Alfred forces Bruce and us, the readers, to navigate entirely new emotional waters. And then that heavy metal energy, that heavy metal vibe. Most modern Batman comics are very prestige. They look like expensive movies. Absolute Batman looks and feels like a punk rock concert. It's loud, it's violent, and it's experimental. The oversized proportions and the do-it-yourself technology give it an energy that feels younger, more daring than the mainline Detective Comics run. Is there a catch? A downside? Are there cons to the pros? I would argue that most purists and some traditionalists find the changes to be too extreme, like the axe symbol or the 400-pound frame and him being 6'9". However, even the skeptics would have to admit that it's better to be bold, new, and different and weird than to tell the same tired pearl necklace origin story for the 100th time, so to speak. I think my secret to really enjoying this series, my secret weapon if you will, is not being a Batman guy. I think a lot of the longtime fans would get hung up on lore accuracy. They want the butler, the mansion, the classic gadgets, a certain type of look for the suit. But because I don't really have those expectations, I can just enjoy it for what it is. A high-octane, blue-collar revolution story. I've often felt very disconnected from the mainline Batman. While I can acknowledge what he's doing is fly and cool, it doesn't necessarily move me personally. I feel a lot more connected to this version of Bruce. I really think it fixed the relatability problem. The classic Batman is a billionaire who fights street crime, which can feel a little disconnected. Absolute Batman's an underdog. He's a guy who works 40 hours plus a week as a city engineer and still has to find time and energy to fight for his city. He doesn't have the safety net, like I said earlier. If he breaks a bone, he doesn't have a private medic. He doesn't have a bunch of money to throw at somebody if he needs to. He just has to deal with it. It makes you root for him more because he's actually risking something. And here's something that I don't know if you guys are going to agree with, but bear with me. It's like an action movie or a manga. The pacing is much faster than traditional comics. The Full Metal vibe, artist Nick Dragata brings a style that feels like a heavy metal album or high energy manga. The proportions are exaggerated, the violence is visceral, and it doesn't take itself too seriously, even though it's still pretty dark and gritty. And like the Axe Factor, the fact that his logo is literally a weapon he uses to chop through obstacles is just pure, unapologetic, cool factor. And then you don't need a PhD in DC history to enjoy this. The biggest barrier to comics is usually the 1,000 issues of backstories and multiple reboots and a convergence here and this event here. I was reading Wonder Woman and randomly in issue 6 she was with Superman, and now I have to read Superman up to issue 7. Like, I get it. With Absolute Batman, everyone starts at issue 1. You don't need to know who the 5th Robin is or what happened in the crossover from 1993. It's a clean slate, and I like that. It's not to say it's completely disconnected from the grander DC universe. If you know how the universe was created with All In and everything, Darkseid and the Spectre, I'm not getting into that. It's not this video. And I'm pretty sure they've been crossing over with DCKO. The fact of the matter is, you can just be like, I like Absolute Batman or the Absolute Universe. Start here, read here, finish it, and move on. You don't have to have, like I said earlier, all of this prior knowledge about the Detective Comics universe to enjoy Absolute Batman or a lot of the Absolute comics. In the main comics, Bruce is often a loner. In this one, he has a crew of childhood friends. Even if some are becoming villains, it feels like a story about a neighborhood fighting back, not just one rich guy playing hero. And his villains are pure nightmare fuel. Oh my goodness. With Bruce being NBA height and weighing a metric fuck ton, this universe really juices up the bad guys he has to face, and it's insane. Look at Bane, bro. This is a One Piece character. This is Whitebeard height. This dude is a kaiju. What is happening? Bro, this is the Joker. Look at the demonic Mr. Freeze. This nigga ran away from him. He's a demon. Look, I'm not here to recap and go through everything that's happening in the DC Batman universe. I want you guys to read this and experience it on your own. I just wanted to make this video as a quote unquote Batman hater and gush about how awesome I think this run has been. I cannot wait for more, and if this video does well and people want more content like this, I will talk about the other Absolute DC stuff. Especially Martian Manhunter, because to me that's the most intriguing one out of all of them. I'm not saying it's the best, but it's so mystifying. I have loved Absolute Wonder Woman. Absolute Superman's pretty good. Absolute Flash is pretty good. I think the Green Lantern, the Absolute one, is very interesting, pretty different, so I'm enjoying that one too. So anyways, thanks for listening, people. Be safe, and listen, let me tell you guys something. This Joker might go crazy, yo. It might be the best version. Let's answer the question. So, is this the best version of Batman ever? I would say yes for now. I think it's really fun, different, and it's a very exciting universe in general. While you may not agree, remember it's my channel and I'm almost right here. Consider this case solved. Don't commit any crimes, people, or else Absolute Batman is coming.